Welcome back to the channel. Tickled to Death. You showed back up. So we're going to pick up where we left off last week on one of the videos about putting the glass back in the frames. We got glass ready to go in. We just ain't got no place to put it. So we're going to poke and prod and dig around in some of the boxes back in the storage building and see if we can't make a run at putting the window regulators and stuff back in this door. So don't know how far we're going to get, but however far we get, we're going to bring you right there with it. We're going to get, you know, right in there. So y'all stay tuned and we'll see where we get. Welcome to this episode in the garage.
Take me by my hand, wherever the wind blows, that's where we'll go.
First thing we had to do is you guys will remember, this spring was laying in the bottom of the door, and this section here had broke off, and it was just round right here instead of having this straight section. And that straight section, if I can find it, goes in this groove right here and then twists around and wraps up here. That's what helps you roll the window back up. So I heated that sucker up cherry red and bent a new flat spot in it. I knew about it and forgot about it. Had I remembered, I would have just ordered a new one, but we're here now and that's what we got. See, if you have too much tension in its resting position, which is window up, then you are going to have a hard time rolling the window down, because the tension is going to be so great trying to hold the window up. It's going to be really tough to hold down. If you don't have enough tension, then when the spring is under tension, window in the down position, then you don't have enough tension inside the spring to help you roll the window up. That's why I'm really not 100% sure that even if I get this, that it's going to work. The only thing we can do is try. So bear with me. Oh, hands work. That should work. Like I said, we'll see what that does when it comes to regulating the window up and down. We might have just wasted some time. I don't know. So I'm assuming that this is going to be our first. Which way would be the easiest way for this to go in? This way? Possibly. Just like so. Now, just to hold this still, I'm gonna go ahead and put one screw in it. I've got to put that in there, and what I'm talking about by that roller inside that channel. So now that that's done, let's see if we can line the rest of our bolt holes up. Just like so is. Now we have this piece of channel, and we're just setting this in here for now, getting all of our parts lined out. This still has to be channeled with that fuzzy channel, but we're going to go ahead and put this in place just to get the parts up out of the way. Now this bottom one is a little bit different. You have this little chrome washer, and basically what it does is cover this hole. So if you'll notice, the hole in that washer is eccentric. So if you need your guide to go back and, to adjust your window tracking, you just rotate that washer around where it covers the hole. And if it needs to go all the way back this way, then you rotate the washer to cover the hole that way. So that's basically how that works. We are not ready yet to put the driver's side glass in it because the vent windows and all of that trim has to go on first. So let me get those parts laid out, possibly cleaned up, and we'll see if we have all the seals and all that stuff to go along with it, and get it together. Maybe we'll see where it goes. All right, let's see if we can start to get this thing together. Now, there's specific ways that this trim has got to go on. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get most of my trim, I think, about close to where it's going to go, because I'm really trying not to beat the paint up, and this stuff fits, you know, really tight. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this outside piece. If you'll notice, you've got a groove here and a groove here, and this lip, and you can't see it, but there's another lip here on the other side, goes inside those grooves. But you don't just set it up on top here and just start jamming it down. You can find a happy spot and get it in the groove to where it's not super tight, like that, and snap that around like that. Now this is up way too high, and I want it up high because I need room up under it to put this trim. Now, this piece of trim is the trim that goes here. It goes on first because this piece of trim that goes right here sets on top of it, like so. But if this is in place and you go to snap this over the top of that, you press it so hard to make it fit that you could dig into your paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and snap this together, if I can show you. And you can see on the old trim about where it goes. You got a line there. So I'm going to go ahead and see about snapping this on here like so, and go ahead and put this together and line it up where it goes. And then I'm going to, now in order to do this tab right here, you're going to have to bend it out, because that tab wraps around this edge and pulls that gap in tight. But you can't put this on with that tab bent, because you can't go that far enough. So we want to go ahead and get that out of the way. See if we can do this without scratching this paint up. Something along those lines. Now, you can tell you're getting close because your trim's going to line up on the end of your door, and that should tell you where you're at here, whether whether you're all the way back or not. As long as on my trim is used, as long as this piece of trim is lined up with that wear line that was in this one, then I should be in good shape left to right. Something like that. Now to fine tune it, you line up your bolt holes in the back of this thing. And what I may do is go ahead and put one screw in. Sort of like so. Alright, now if you'll notice, you have a slot right here, and this arm comes out. This arm goes down into that slot. So what we want to do is move this down. Make sure we have room for it to fit. Move that down in there. Now you can see why this bolt around this edge here is so important. That tang we bent out is because that's what's going to pull this in here tight and close this gap up right here. Now there's one thing that is confusing me. and that is this bottom tang down here. You have to bend these out, and this one up here, to get this on, because these tangs push in. And you can see, hopefully, if I can get you lined up and focused, there's a bolt hole behind this one, but on the bottom one there is no bolt hole. So either there was, well, obviously there was never a bolt in that from the factory. Probably going to drill one and put one in it, maybe. But we'll get all this stuff lined out and pretty close to where it needs to be, and then we'll be ready for our vent window. So now you can see we've got our tab bent around, screw put in it. We'll snap our rubber back in momentarily. Our gap looks real good right here. I do not know why this is not focusing. And our lines look good, real good right here. So I believe that we are ready for vent window. This right here goes through a hole in the bottom of the door, and I'll show you that momentarily. You got to turn it sideways first to get it in there. Just like so. And we got 3 little screws that go in from the back side here that hold this thing in. So I'm going to go ahead and line that up. There we go. See, that's more better. All right. There is one vent window installed. So our vent window regulator is bad, so I've got to replace it, but I can do that after everything else is together, so not a big deal. We got 2 more bolts to put in, one there, and then this is that track adjuster in and out, just like you have over here. So there's that. So I'm gonna get those 2 bolts put in and we'll move on to the next step. Y'all didn't think I was gonna use them old rusty, crusty bolts, did you? No, sir. These threads in this guide were actually 1/4 28. So I cross-threaded a 1/4 20 tap through it. The earth gives you everything you need, including natural thread lock. Now I don't know whether this goes front or back. I'm not for sure, and I won't know until we get the glass in it and close the door and I see where the top of the glass lines up. But for now, we're going to push it all the way towards the outside of the car. Alright, you see that guide wheel there and that guide wheel right there. They go inside this track first. The track has to be in there before you put the glass in. All right, there's that track. You got two bolts right there, 2 bolts right there. A quick way to tell which window is what, those little screws go towards the interior of the car. Those screws are what holds the bottom of the glass onto that track that we just installed. All right, so I've just got the glass sitting here. So I've got the regulator rolled all the way down to the bottom. So we're going to feed the glass in. All right, you see those 2 screws right there? It would be amazing if you could put both of them in from right there, but you can't. Now you're gonna have to bear with me because there's some things I gotta feel around and find. There. That one is in, and that one is in. All right. So now we have to get the window to a level where we can get to those screws. So one of those is right here. If I'm not mistaken, the other one is here. We'll just have to see. Now, you have to remember those screws are not in the frame yet. So that channel will want to slide from right to left on those rollers. So you have to try to, while you're manipulating this thing, at least until you get a screw in it, you have to make sure that your channel doesn't end up coming off the end of one of your rollers. So it's going to take you a minute. You have to familiarize yourself with what it is you're actually feeling to make sure that you don't have to pull the glass right back out of this thing to put that channel back on. Might be able to put one in right there. Maybe. Maybe, baby. Screwdriver. Cool beans. All right, that channel is now locked down and cannot go from right to left. So now we can roll the window up and go ahead and put our 2 screws in right here. See now how you have your channel and those 2 bolt holes lined up. Now you can get both those screws in. And now that the window is in this location, you can also get to that one. So we'll get that last screw put in and this window will be installed.
Baby, where have you been? that right? She lifts up one of her wings to let me by her side. Take that ride. She lifts up one of her wings to let me by her side.
Did it the way I took it apart, you'll have to bend these tabs out. I pulled it off the top, which is not the right way to do it. Go ahead and wrap that around the edge. Bend these tabs out a little bit more. Snap it on. Just like so. We're going to leave this up out of the way. All right, now our outside piece, remember you're going to have to bend this tab back. Go ahead and get it back out of your way. It's stainless, so you ain't got to really worry about it snapping off. And we'll go ahead and put this piece in here. Hold them together. Don't drop it on the paint. Don't drop it on the paint. Just like so. And we'll go ahead and put one screw in right here. Just sort of hold that in place. reason I'm putting one back here is, can't remember, either this one or this one is in the way, and they have to come back out. Alright, we'll move that out of the way and fasten that here momentarily. Alright, let's go ahead and slide this down. And line our bolt holes up. Just like so. We'll bend this tab around to hold it in place. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, so let's pull this rubber back out of the way, and we'll go ahead and bend that tab around and screw it in. Just like so. Alright, let's get a screw. And it's a specific screw, little bitty short thing, because you don't have a whole lot of meat there. Yeah, I like that. All right. Put a screw in there. This is a specific screw because it is a 832. All right, we back at it. It ended up having a whole bunch of sealant and stuff in that hole. I guess I could have fought through it, but I really don't want to round the head off in this thing and then have to fight trying to get it back out. So just like the fastener side, this tab doesn't have a hole, so apparently they didn't bolt that in. Maybe they played around with it and found out it didn't need one. All right. Let's see about fitting this jewel in here. Needs to come out. Just like so. Yep, something like that. Right there. And right there. I didn't show this for whatever reason on the last video, but we've got our top piece of trim that we got to put on top of our vent window, And in order to make that fit over your rubber, you're gonna have to spread it out some. Like that, to make that fit. So let's see if we did a good job. All right, so your 45 goes towards your window, away from the windshield, and you got to swallow up the rubber, and you've got to go over the top of that piece of trim and back behind it. So let's see how the front looks. All right, let's get a screw in that. Just like so. Look good back here. All right. Vent window done. Got you looking up inside the door. We're gonna put this channel on that one. Slide it up, put it on this one. Need to roll the window up just a tad. Alright, just like so. Just like so. But I didn't show this on the passenger side, but we'll go ahead and show it now. We're going to glue in our felt on the outer channel. And y'all will recognize this stuff. This is the same stuff we use to glue down upholstery. Why shouldn't it work here? Y'all can see that line down through there. That lets me know about where to stop my glue.
where we stand.
Again, these screws go in from the front, from the interior of the car. Alright, let's see if we can get this inside this window. Go.
Today seems like yesterday, hopefully not tomorrow. It feels like sometimes it's always on a borrow, yeah. Walking a straight line ain't easy today, and I know this 'cause I wake so much.
All right, fellers and fellettes, if y'all made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. This was quite the adventure. Man, my thumb hurts. I cutted it. But like I said, if you made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit your bell notification. That way you're notified every time I release new content. Leave me a comment. Love the comments. And till next time, y'all go do some work.